Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Brandon with the Sharp Sports Report. Happy Thursday, June 18th, 2026. Whew, stuff's heating up here with this Giannis news, and the NBA draft is next Tuesday. Last episode, I broke down the absolute bomb that was dropped by the insiders regarding Giannis trade rumors, but today I'm going to take a step past the gossip and look directly at the whiteboard with all of this. And if Milwaukee actually wants to move on from the Greek Freak before next Tuesday night's draft, we aren't just talking about a change of scenery. We're talking about an immediate structural shift in who owns the Eastern Conference right now. And yes, this includes the Knicks. Yes, congratulations, they won the NBA Finals, but this has so much at stake right now with this Giannis news. Everyone's saying, oh, he's going to go to Boston, he's going to go to Miami. Oh, the Clippers are in there now as a third option. Who knows? He could honestly go anywhere at this point. I don't believe anything until I see something. But I have some questions. What does a Miami Heat team actually look like on the court with Giannis? And how does Boston reconstruct its universe if they swap Jaylen Brown for Giannis? And more importantly, how is this entire situation completely holding the top of the NBA draft hostage? We're going to be breaking that down tonight. So let's get into it. And we're going to be starting with the front runner right now of this Giannis news, and that's down in South Beach. If the Heat land Giannis in that heavily rumored four-team framework, it completely redefines their identity on a schematic level, because it puts Giannis next to Bam Adebayo, which then gives Spoelstra the most terrifying, versatile defensive backline we have seen in the modern NBA, period. Because you're talking about two elite switch everything defenders who can protect the rim, blow up pick and rolls at the level of the screen, and completely eliminate transition opportunities. Teams wouldn't even be able to get into the paint with those two. And yes, even with Victor Wembanyama, I think Miami would match up very well with the Spurs. Offensively, though, the fit is where Spoelstra earns his money. Because with Hero reportedly heading to Detroit in that deal, and young shooters like Jaime Jaquez and Nikola Jovic out of the picture, Miami's half-court spacing gets incredibly tight. You can't just park Giannis or Bam in the corner. Miami would have to run a heavy inverted offense using, some off-ball cutters while Giannis operates as the primary hub at the elbow. It would be gritty, physical, defensive-first monster. They might not score 130 points a night, but they would hold teams to about 95 or at least under 100. Now you flip the script to the Boston side. If Boston crashes the party and sends Jaylen Brown to Milwaukee to pair Giannis with Jason Tatum, on paper, this is absolute basketball fluid dynamics 101. For years, Boston's entire philosophy has been built on elite wing play and high volume three-point shooting under Joe Mazzulla. Pulling Jaylen Brown out changes that. And then adding Giannis gives them an unstoppable dynamic dimension. Think about a high pick and roll with Jason Tatum handling the ball and Giannis acting as a screener and roller. How does a defense even cover that? If you decide to drop to protect the rim against Giannis, Tatum's just going to step back for an open three. And then if you blitz Tatum, he pocket passes to Giannis playing 4-on-3 in space, which is an automatic dunk or a kick out. Because Boston can surround Giannis with elite spacing from Tatum and Derek White, if they decide to keep Derek White in this trade, he would have massive wide open driving lanes that he simply never had in Milwaukee. It's an entirely different basketball puzzle than the Miami fit, and honestly, it's a much cleaner offensive ecosystem. But the kicker in all of this whole situation is completely hijacking next Tuesday's draft board. We're not hearing much about the NBA draft. Giannis is kind of taking over the NBA news right now. Front offices are, pick planning in the lottery are essentially just frozen right now. I mean, look at Detroit or the Grizzlies, who are reportedly involved in these multi-team Giannis frameworks. Detroit is sitting on a high draft pick, but if they know they are landing a proven 20-point scorer in Tyler Hero in a cascading trade, their draft board changes instantly. They no longer need to hunt a perimeter scorer like Darren Peterson if he slips, which I highly doubt he slips to the Pistons. They can shift their focus entirely to a lockdown defender or depth inside. Even at the absolute top of the draft, the Washington Wizards at number 1 or the Utah Jazz, which is where right now Peterson and DeBonsa are rumored to go 1 and 2, and they could flip-flop. Everyone is waiting to see where the power in the East shifts. If the Bucks receive a treasure trove of assets, including Miami's number 13th pick or potentially another lottery asset routed through a third team, the Bucks suddenly become the wild card of the first round. They could package those assets to move right up into the top 5 to draft AJ DeBonce's running mate. Unbelievable. The reality is next Tuesday night isn't just about introducing the class of 2026 to the league. It is a high-stakes poker game where the deck is actively being reshuffled. If you are a front office personnel person right now, you aren't just watching college film. You are burning up the phone lines trying to make sure you aren't the team left holding the bag when Giannis trade finally drops. It's going to be insane. Like, there's so many different avenues that this draft night could go. And there could be so much that blows up with this Giannis trade. You know, if there are 4 teams involved, which 4 teams are involved? Are they going to give up their top 5, top 10 picks? I mean, this is going to change so much. I don't think you guys understand. You put Giannis on any type of NBA final or NBA championship contending team, it easily makes them one of the top 4 to 3 favorites to win an NBA title. Man, I'm excited. It's going to be a great weekend. U.S. Open started today. Crazy wind. Unbelievable. College football, I believe now we're closing in on 80 days now, which is absurd. But listen, I want to hear from you guys in the comments. Which scheme do you prefer for Giannis? Do you want to see the defensive wall in Miami? Or do you want to see him, have an easier path to winning another title while he's in Boston? Let me know. Would love to hear your guys' thoughts. Let me know if you have another trade package that you think could work to get Giannis to a team that you like or a team that no one else is talking about. But listen, I'll be back Saturday because that's when we hit the 3-day mark until the NBA draft. I'll dive more into some draft prospects. But hey, don't forget to follow us on TikTok, Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also subscribe to us on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. I appreciate you guys for listening in. It's been a great ride. I'm super stoked about this draft class. I think it's going to be one of the greatest ones we ever had. But hey, until next time, keep living in the tape. Peace and love, and I'll talk to you guys on Saturday. Thank you.